SKS deer and one-man retrieve. William Hovey Smith, 2024. Well, I think we finally did it, guys. After at least a dozen attempts with the SKS to take a deer, I believe we finally did it today. I started working with the SKS seriously last season, took it out on a number of hunts, but never did manage to connect with it. Well, I'm in my tower stand now, overlooking my largest food plot, and this is the third time I've hunted it this year. And this time I brought the SKS, which we shot last year and tried it out with several types of ammunition, improved it to have the likelihood of being an effective 100-yard gun with the loads I used. And indeed, it would seem so. It is about 8:45 in the morning, and I've been here since approximately 7:30. We spooked one deer coming in, a yearling. We had two yearlings come into the corner of the plot here just after I set up, but I bumped the gun against the side of the sand and they scooted on down the way. Have not seen them again. And waited and had not heard any shots yet this morning. Maybe one, distant, but not a whole lot of shooting. And then this buck walked out in a cleared area about 75 yards away. Paused, looked around, turned around, and then reversed back into cover where I couldn't see him. Well, I had my gun up, took it down, looked, and it came in toward the food plot. Okay, well, maybe we have something here. So then I brought the SKS up again, took the safety off again. It had paused, took as careful aim as I could on the shoulder, and fired a shot. At the shot, it humped. It turned off to the right. It passed by a bush I marked, and then I heard what I hope was a fall. Whoop. And no subsequent movement. So, I believe we have a deer very dead on the ground. And although I did not take time to count points, it's an average size adult Georgia deer. A good one, by my standards at any rate. And one I have probably seen and let pass in previous years. So, we're going to go down and take a look for him. Here is a food plot as seen. That little shrub right there, a bare pole, in the center of the frame, that's my marker. And beyond it, there's a small rounded bush. And that it passed on the left-hand side, and then I believe shortly after went down. So we're going to go and see. Now I'm a little bit excited, by the way. Heart's pumping a little bit. It's been about 15 minutes. So, yeah, time to go see what we did. I pulled my stuff out of the blind, and I'm going to go back now and set up and do some filming around the deer. We're supposed to have rain coming in. In fact, it's showered a little bit already. And I want to make sure that we get this video done while the weather's halfway decent. Behind me, I marked a fairly clear path going back to the deer because I intend to bring my lawn tractor and cart back here. That way I only have to lift the deer about 4 or 6 inches or so instead of having to heave it up over the bed of a truck, which frankly I don't think I can do. And I might not even be able to load it this way. But we're going to give it a try and see if we can get this thing up by myself. And if I cannot, then we're going to call in somebody to help. As you can see from the number of flags, I'm not taking any chances of not being able to find that deer. Well, here we are, the SKS and its deer. Interesting rack. It's palmated and sort of tortured. Non-typical, I would say, certainly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. Respectable, certainly. Maybe the most distinctive deer I've ever killed, but not enormous, so far as rack size goes. This tortured rack, though, so it indicates to me it might be an old deer. This deer has got some age on it. There's some fur missing on the back. It's been fighting all right, and I suspect it's been doing well. Yeah. Woof. Glad to have you, fella. This gives you a closer look at its rack. Yeah, that's a nice Georgia deer. Not a humongous one, but certainly decent. I took a real hit with Helene. If you can, make a donation at https://www.hoviesmith.com. I've done a number of outdoor books, business books, and novels. And those that pertain most particularly to deer hunting are backyard deer hunting and extreme muzzleloading. These are available at Amazon and other online book retailers and stores worldwide. Through the use of my electric chainsaw, which isn't supposed to be used in the wet, by the way, and we have deer, and we now have our deer retrieval tractor and cart in the very near vicinity of the deer. Now, can I get that thing on board? That thing? That is the present question. By pulling hoof and horn, I am part way, but we got the rear end to get up. Not be able to lift the rear end on this trailer, I went ahead and used my belt, cut off a foreleg, and as you see, now I have a stop and my belt tied to it. I tie it to an antler, hoping that if I go slow enough and keep the vibrations down, I can keep the deer on the trailer all the way. So far, so good. We are going slower and slower, but our deer is still with me. Well, me and doggies there, and deer, thus far made it out to the access road. So now to the house. Well, this stage is done. Our deer leg staunch and held, and it is now in the near vicinity of his transport trailer. You can see that the belt is really under tension. Yeah, that did real work. It was not cosmetic. We're ready to start pulling and guiding the deer on board my utility trailer so I can take it to the processor. And what I'm using is I have a winch on my trailer, and battery was freshly charged before season. So now we're going to see if we can gently pull it over onto that plywood and then ease the whole mess up onto the trailer. Now we're off to a start. We can straighten him up a little bit. Okay. The cable had jumped off the spool, so that's why we're doing the rewinding. Okay, now we should do some good. Lift. All right, the deer is on the trailer. Now that's what we wanted. The processor would not permit filming. The Hornady Black 123 grain SST bullet at 2,350 feet per second penetrated the deer, blowing bullet and bone fragments through both lungs, resulting in a 20-yard run and fall. This deer has a live weight of about 185 pounds. And what's going to happen to it, it's going into cube steak and ground meat. Now for cut meat, I'll shoot smaller deer. The old big gnarly bucks, sort of do best as ground and cubed. For now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.